Hello YouTube, Pastor Jack here, and welcome to my channel, my study. I hope that you are having a great day today. Today we are going to continue on in the series on catastrophe in the seven seas of history, and we're talking about the flood, and this is going to be part two of what I'm calling a thinking man's understanding of the Noah's flood, and how we can just, if we just use our brain and look at some real things in life, that it backs up that there was a catastrophic worldwide flood. And we talked three things already in the last episode. So today we're going to pick back up. And one of the things that back up a sudden catastrophic kind of event took place was the fact that they are whole animal fossils. They When an animal dies naturally, there will be some kind of predator come and will eat the flesh and tear the bones apart. And when they find fossils, that's what they normally find is just parts of the animal because of the fact that the flesh would be eaten by some other kind of animal. But during a time of about 4,000 years ago, in their timing of these fossils, they found a lot of fossils that were just whole animal fossils. So they died suddenly, and nothing ate them. They must have been covered really quick, like they would in a flood type of event. So whole animal fossils being found tells us something. Marine fossils found on mountaintops. So animals that should have only been in the ocean was found on the mountaintops. Now, there's only a few ways you can explain that. And it has to include that the oceans was over the mountaintops at one time. And then you can try to come up with some other things besides a Noah type entire world flood. You can try to come up with something else like a huge earthquake that created the mountain, but it's all over the world. You're going to have to say that every mountain was created that way, not just one or two. So it's very difficult to come up with anything besides a worldwide flood that would show us why we have marine fossils at the crest of mountains. Um, there is a fossil that, and by the way, Answers in Genesis owns it, and you can look on their website. They have pictures of it, but of a fish eating another fish. At the time, it was suddenly encapsulated in some kind of sediment and died, and it had this fish half in its mouth. That's something, um, you know, there is normal ways fossils were made that would not ever happen. That couldn't happen. It had to be some catastrophic event took place and sudden death took place. Um, Pillow lava. Now, I'm not an expert on pillow lava, but I did some research on it. And pillow lava is a type of rock that is formed only when lava is cooled quickly by ocean water. So pillow lava, and we have seen before videos of eruptions in Hawaii where the lava runs into the water, and it develops this special rock. It's called pillow lava, and they have found pillow lava on Mount Ararat, one of the tallest mountains in the world, and they found pillow lava on it. So at one time there had to be enough uh, ocean water there, a big enough body of water there to cool that lava into that pillow rock. Try to explain that one any other way besides a world flood. This next one's going to get over my head real quick, so I'm going to try to make it as simple as I can. But they pull slender uh, cores of the bottom of the ocean out all the time and study it. And there is a one cell creature, and it's called the AMINIFERA. I'll try to remember to put the name on the screen for you because I would mess it up if I tried to pronounce it. But it's a one cell creature, and when it dies, it leaves a shell, very small shell. And they have learned how to tell what the salt content of the ocean was at the time that creature died, because it preserves the salt content in its shell, and then it's there until they take it out of the bottom of the ocean and run tests on it, so they can tell what the salt content of the ocean was when those creatures died. And they take these big long cores out, and so they can go back for hundreds and thousands of years, and determine what the saltwater content or what the salt content of the water was. Well, about the time that we would think Noah's flood took place, they see a 10% decrease in the salt content of the ocean. And this is in the Gulf of Mexico, is where this sample was taken and this was done. Colleges did the evaluations of it. And about 4,000 years ago, there was a 10% decrease in the salt content of the Gulf of Mexico. So, what could have caused that? Hmm. Maybe a whole bunch of fresh water being released from the ground, brought the salt content of the ocean down 10%. Again, you know, can you come up with something else, preacher, that could have caused that? Well, you probably could. But put all these together. I've been talking now for a video and a half, and these are things that all are pointing to a Noah's type flood and a catastrophe. It was an awful event of earthquakes and pieces of ground moving, and our geometry. Our layout of our world was changed uh, during this catastrophe that took place in this worldwide flood. Another one's a number of meteor strikes. If the Earth was a billion years old, or at least say just 1 million years old, there should have been a lot more meteor strikes than there is. Now, I'm not saying it would look like the moon, and nobody is, because we have an atmosphere that burns meteors up as they come into our atmosphere. But there are some that hits the ground, and they leave pretty tall holes when they do, and we have very few on the face of the earth. We for sure don't have 1 million years worth of them, and that's something you got to think about. This last one hits home to me because I remember as a third grader. That was a long time ago, by the way. My dad took me and my mom and my sister to California and my brother, and we got to see the redwood forest. And if you haven't seen the redwood forest, you need to put it on a list of some kind. You need to try to go. It is amazing. It's amazing. But redwood trees, they don't ever die. They are bugs. There's hardly any kind of pests that kill them. They're very hardy trees. They grow, and they mainly just they're there forever. And especially now they're protected the way they are in our national forests. But of the biggest redwood tree they ever cut down, uh, they could only count 3,500 growth rings. 3,500. That's real close to 4,000. Now I'd hate being a person that was given the job of counting those growth rings, but again, The oldest one that they know of that they've cut down, they only had 3,500 growth rings. Not a million, not a billion, but 3,500. Uh, that is very interesting compared with all the other things that we've talked about the last two episodes. It should give a thinking man time to pause and say, I'm not going to listen to the atheists, scientists who say that there's no scientific evidence. There's a lot of common sense evidence here that backs up a worldwide flood about the same time the Bible said one happened and Noah lived through it. God bless you. Keep it first things first, and we'll see you on the next video.